Fear. Most people are governed by their habits, their fears, and their opinions of others.
Boxing King Media in association with Boxro. Delighted to be joined by Boxing Hall of Famer, legend, former Unified World Champion, Mr. Antonio Tarver in England.
Hey, yeah. Long trip. It's cold over here.
Do you experience this type of cold in Florida where you live normally?
No, that's why Florida is like the best place in the world to live. You know, we don't really have all the seasons, and it's not a really cold winter. But if we can, dodge the rain a little bit, it's always sunny, bright, golfing weather. Perfect weather to golf.
Yeah, so loads of Brits are moving over there as well. I think last time we met was in Riyadh in Saudi, where you was at that gala dinner full of all the stars and boxers from the past, footballers, soccer players as you call them. I'll start off with that, just reflecting on that. How was that when you went back to the States? You must have told people I was at this crazy dinner with all these people.
Yeah, the whole weekend was amazing. And it was the first one that Turki Al-Sheikh presented and promoted over here, Your Excellency. And it was just a step above the rest, when it comes down to class and how the event was really put on. It was amazing. And then to rub elbows with all of the legends before my time and even during my time, that was the part that I really took away, just having conversations with the great Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and just kicking it with the guys. It's a great time.
I'm just curious about that moment. Was there anyone that you met during that time that you were starstruck about or you always wanted to meet?
Starstruck, no, but respectfully so, yeah. All of them. Conor McGregor, all the guys, man. Cotto. It's just nice seeing all the legends that got on that stage and perform at the highest level. And to know that we have that in common is a great feeling.
Did any one of them legends come up to you and say, "Yo, Antonio, I watched your fight," etc.? Because that must have been humbling as well.
Most definitely, most definitely. Who can ever forget the moment that I snatched the crown? So, that's a moment I think a lot of people remember. And like I said, when we're all together, it's just one big family, one big fraternity. We know we have that special thing in common, where we all at one moment in time had our hands raised and was recognized as the best fighter in the world in our weight class. And that's something that I really feel good about when I look at my overall accomplishments.
Good man. We're obviously here in Sheffield today. You're here at the Undisputed Game Studios. You come for a body scan. So just tell me, were you a gamer yourself? And, what do you think of all this that's going on here at Steel City?
When the games first came out, I was a player, Madden and all that. But, as I've grown older, I really don't have much time for the game, but definitely excited about Undisputed coming out. I'll be featured in the game, and I'm working really hard to try to get my famous line in the game. What's your excuse tonight? So, that will separate me from all the other guys on the game.
I can't remember. Was you in the original Fight Night game or not?
I think I was. I think I was. Yep. That was a long time ago, and I think it's time for another game. That's why I'm so excited for Undisputed.
And obviously fighters from this era, a lot of them are mega excited about it. But I'm just curious, in the early 2000s when you was fighting, when, the other boxing games were around, did you guys talk about wanting to be in games or playing games? Was it a thing back then?
Personally, I don't think it was. I can't speak for everyone. But, when you're so hell-bent on accomplishing your goals, lifetime goals, it's a little bit hard to think about. But hindsight, now that I've retired, it's mandated that, I get in this game because I know the young generation, the relevant people nowadays, the youngsters, are going to be playing this game. And I want them to be able to pick the Magic Man, what I'm saying, and get to know who I was as a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be very instrumental to be on Undisputed, because I think it really lends to getting famous and familiar with the young crowd of today. And that's something that a lot of athletes, once they've moved on, they don't get an opportunity to do. So that's why I'm excited about it. I get to be introduced to a whole nother demographics of young people. You know what I'm saying?
Good stuff, man. And I just wanted to see if you can maybe offer some words of advice to the fighters that are out there now in their 20s, because you fought quite late on in your career. I think I'm not going to mention how old you are, but you're 50 plus, but you're looking great. You know, the after effects of boxing, what have you felt physically? Have you, like, do you sense any different in you, like physically or mentally or anything that, you know, you can give people tips on to change now, or, you know, what do you feel?
You know, definitely after you've had a long career and, you know, put your body through the grind, your mind and your mental through the grind, as long as I have, there's going to be some effects. You know, every day I wake up, I'm not feeling as great. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, I got to stretch to get out of bed. You know what I mean? And then, you know, right now, though, I'm excited about the future, just getting back active in the game of boxing, whether it's from the commentary seat or whether it's from the trainer seat. I just want to get back into boxing because I know that I have so much to offer the game as far as experience, you know, as far as being able to advise and guide these young men, you know what I mean, through what we call this war, you know, in boxing. So I just want to give, man, because that's what it's all about, helping people. You know what I mean? If I can help one of these men set their goals and dreams and realize their dreams, then, you know, I've given back, you know, because it was once upon a time, someone had to give to me. Someone had to pour into me in order for me to realize my dreams. You feel me? Those guys were my trainers. You know, Jimmy Williams, Buddy McGirt, Orlando Cuellar. Those are the guys that helped me create the magic. You feel me? Because I couldn't have done it all by myself. It takes a team. It takes someone that truly believes in your dream. And as long as I've been in the game, I can spot it from a mile away. I see them first because I know what I'm looking for, the intangibles, the hidden gems. You feel me? In order to get a diamond, man, you got to get deep up under the ground. You feel me? You got to apply pressure. You feel me? A lot of people, they break under that pressure, bruh. So I'm trying to give these young men some tools that allow them to make it through. And then create whatever you want, bruh. I think when you dream big, because I'm living proof that dreams do come true. Everything I ever dreamed about, I manifested in my life. That's the truth. So, you know, we are what we believe and what we think, man. I just believed it. I had enough courage to believe all my dreams, and they came true. From co-starring in Rocky Balboa and knocking out Roy Jones to making the Olympic team. Everything I ever dreamed about, I accomplished.
Respect you for that, and I feel like I should have clapped if there was a crowd here for that, because that was a brilliant speech. But you know, just touching on that, we see a lot of new school training methods, and you're from the old school. You've obviously seen both sides of the game. Is the old school training methods the best, or this new SNC stuff that we see these days?
I wouldn't say the best, but I think it's necessary. Mm-hmm. You know, you got to be able to look back in order to, you know, to move forward. I think the old school way of boxing is missing in the game, and I think that's why we're getting the results that we're getting when you look at American fighters, American boxing. You feel me? I think they need to go back to the old school. You feel me? I don't know if these guys are going to training camp like they used to back in the day. I don't know if these guys are isolating themselves for 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and truly focus on winning. You know, I don't know how these guys are preparing. And that's the key. Nobody really knows how these guys are really preparing. So that's the part I want to know. What are they doing behind closed doors? What are you doing when nobody's watching? That's what's going to make the difference on fight night. It's not what you're doing when you're around your team. It's what you're doing and the thoughts that you're having when nobody else is around, when it's just you with yourself.
Talking of training camps, you know, just by chance in the last 24 hours, there's a story that's broke. I don't know if you've seen that Jaya Pattaya, who's been in the training camp with Tyson Fury, it's only a rumor, so we don't know if it's fact, but people are suggesting that he may have dropped Tyson Fury in sparring, and because of that, he's now left the camp. But his team have come out and said that he's left the camp because there wasn't enough orthodox sparring. So, you know, I don't know if you can give us any reaction to that, and also draw any comparisons to, from your days where stories leak out of people getting dropped, and it still goes on.
People getting dropped in boxing? What's the surprise? It's normal. It happens. As long as it happens in the gym and not on fight night, you're going to get clipped. You know what I mean? I got dropped once in practice. That don't really mean nothing. Sparring is just work. You're just getting the reps. And if you get dropped, that means you got to tighten up. Don't run from that work. Just get better. Grow from that work. You know what I mean? If the guy dropped Tyson Fury, it's not the end of the day. It doesn't mean that he's not prepared for what's to come. He just knows that he can't get hit with those type of shots. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I haven't did Tarver's Take yet. I'm waiting. I'm going to be doing that in a couple more days. But that Tyson Fury and Usyk fight, that's one for the ages. But one that's also as important, that AJ and the Ngannou fight. I mean, that fight got me a little nervous, considering Ngannou's natural power. AJ don't really take punches well. We know that. And so this fight makes me concerned. When you look at everything that AJ has to lose and Ngannou has everything to win, it's tough going in a fight like that. You feel me? It's really tough going into a fight like that.
There's been a big debate about whether, because His Excellency mentioned that the winner of that fight could end up fighting for Undisputed. Do you think it's fair that if Ngannou does win, that he should be allowed to fight for the Undisputed belts in his third fight?
I mean, that's really why Ngannou is in the ring anyway. That's why he was in the ring with Tyson Fury and why he's facing, AJ. He's a phenomenon, man. Something that we haven't seen in boxing in forever. And when you look at it, he could be 1-1 or 0-2 and be the richest 0-2 1-1 fighter in the history of the sport. Like, what the hell was I doing for the 23 years I was boxing? That's what it makes me wonder. Could this guy have it right and everybody else have it wrong? 0-2 and could be the richest 0-2 fighter in the history of the sport? I mean, I got to take my hat off to Ngannou, man. And as an athlete like that only comes around once in a lifetime because we've never seen anything like this. And if he can find a way to upset AJ, it would be a phenomenon that's heard around the world in sports. And can you imagine him fighting for the undisputed title after, a guy like Tyson Fury or Usyk wins? It'd be amazing. I don't know anybody that wouldn't be there for that fight. It could be that big.
I'm going to urge people to listen to your predictions because I saw one a few months ago where you called the Terence Crawford-Spence fight down to a T, as we say in the UK. It's almost like you had a crystal ball and you knew what was going to happen. So have you had many people reach out to you about that, how you got that prediction so bang on?
Oh, yeah. It's my experience in boxing. I know this sport. Bro. I can handicap this shit. It's like I'm looking in a crystal ball. Because I can get into these guys' mental. I know what their psyche. I've been there. I'm still there. I'm still a professional. I'm still a fighter. And I'm going to always be a fighter. I know what to look for. Footwork. I can look at balance. I can see a guy thinking in the ring. You see what I'm saying? I'm in touch with the game. That's why I know I make a hell of a trainer. How couldn't you not have someone with all this experience and knowledge in your corner? Because I'm guaranteeing I can move that needle. I know that. I can move that needle. That means if you think you're a great fighter, a solid, complete fighter, now come see me. I guarantee I can teach you something.
And I'm sure there'll be a lot of fighters lining up. Just a last question for you, Antonio. When you rematched I think your first 3 losses, you rematched all of them and you beat them all quite convincingly. I'm just more curious about the Roy Jones fight. Obviously, you lost the first one in a close fight, but Roy at that time was a guy that nobody wanted to fight. He was just blitzing everyone. You couldn't even land a shot on the guy. So I'm just curious, your mind frame and the things that, did you have any, I'm going to use the word fears, I know fighters don't fear anyone, but any thoughts in your head that doubted yourself, going into that rematch against Roy Jones, knowing that if you slip up or you miss a shot, a big shot's coming back?
No. I want to let the world know something right now that they may never have known. But I'm him. I'm that guy, bruh. Do your research. That's all I say. I'm him. That's why I was able to do everything. They want to make excuses. They want to say it was Roy. Nobody ever looked it the other way. What about me? What about my amateur career? What about when I turned pro, the fighters that I faced? I mean, I did the work, so I was ready. When my time came, I was ready. And they can make every excuse in the world. Every excuse, but they can't change the outcome. It's written in stone. So, I mean, why do I have to, after I've proven to the world where I stood, why everybody want to make an excuse for trying to take away and strip me of my accomplishments? When I earned it, I went around and over and through, and wasn't nobody giving me nothing. So how can you argue with that? And when I told the world what I was going to do in 1995, I told them what I was going to do. Because I knew I was different and I knew I was special. And I knew if I couldn't do it, it couldn't be done. Are you listening to me? If I wouldn't have did it, it would have never been done. Roy Jones would have been that same guy right now today. But sometimes it's just your time, and it was just my time, and I refuse to be denied. They tried, but I refuse to be denied. That's just God. Don't question me, question him.
Mr. Tavo, I love your energy that you've got. You've still got it, So, as I said at the start, you're a Hall of Fame, and I genuinely enjoyed speaking to you today. It's been an honor.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Listen, I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you toward your goals.